What if you could walk into a room and immediately feel something is off? What if you could listen to someone speak and something deep inside you says, that's not right, even when everyone else is nodding? What if you've been carrying something your whole life and nobody ever told you it had a name? Stay with me, because in the next few minutes, I want to show you 7 signs that you might have the gift of discernment. And as we go through each one, ask yourself honestly, has this ever happened to me? If the answer keeps coming back yes, this video might change how you see yourself forever. Let's get into it. First sign, you sense what others miss. You walk into a new church, beautiful worship, passionate preaching. Everyone around you is excited, but something inside you feels uneasy. You can't explain it. You have no facts, no proof, but something just doesn't sit right. And 6 months later, the truth comes out. Sound familiar? People with the gift of discernment often sense the spiritual temperature of a room before they understand it intellectually. It's not suspicion. It's not anxiety. It's something deeper, like a spiritual antenna picking up signals others simply don't notice. Paul puts it this way: the spiritual person judges all things, but is himself to be judged by no one. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 15. That's what you're carrying. The ability to spiritually perceive what the natural eye misses. If you've ever sensed something and later discovered you were right, don't brush that off. That might be the Holy Spirit speaking through you. So let me ask you, have you ever walked into a place and felt something was spiritually off, even when everything looked fine on the outside? Tell me about it in the comments. Second sign, you're a truth detector. Someone is talking. Their words sound good. Everyone else is convinced. But something in you is asking questions nobody else is asking. Why does this feel slightly wrong? You're not being negative. You're not trying to be difficult. But you have this almost involuntary response to deception, like a quiet alarm going off in your spirit when something isn't fully true. This is exactly why John wrote, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God." 1 John 4 verse 1. God didn't write that verse for everyone to ignore. He wrote it for people like you, people who are built to test. The world is full of half-truths. The church needs people who can gently but clearly say, wait. Let's look at this more carefully. You might be one of those people. Has something ever felt off to you before you had any logical reason to doubt it? I want to hear your story. Drop in the comments. Third sign, you sometimes feel like a lonely watchman. This one might sting a little. You've tried to warn people. They didn't listen. You said, something isn't right here. And everyone looked at you like you were the problem. You felt the loneliness of seeing clearly. In a room full of people who don't want to see. And it's exhausting. Can I tell you something? That loneliness doesn't mean you're wrong. Sometimes it means you're carrying an assignment that hasn't been understood yet. God told Ezekiel, "Son of man, I have made you a watchman for the house of Israel." Ezekiel 3 verse 17. Watchmen stand on the wall alone. That's the nature of the post. But they stand there for the protection of everyone else. If you felt this kind of spiritual loneliness, you might be standing exactly where God placed you. Have you ever felt alone in what you were seeing spiritually, like nobody believed you until it was too late? That feeling is real. Write in the comments. Fourth sign, you recognize enemy tactics early. You see patterns others don't see yet. Division starting to form in a group. You saw it 3 steps back. Someone being slowly led astray. You noticed the first turn, a deceptive idea spreading. You identified it before it had momentum. This is one of the most powerful expressions of discernment. Not because you're fixated on darkness, but because you know the light well enough to spot what doesn't belong. Paul wrote, "For we are not ignorant of his designs." 2 Corinthians 2 verse 11. That's people like you. God didn't give you this awareness to make you fearful. He gave it to you so you can stand, warn, and pray before the damage is done. Have you ever seen a spiritual trap forming before anyone else noticed? Tell me what happened. The comment section is the place for it. Fifth sign, you carry a sudden prayer burden. It hits you out of nowhere. You're going about your day, maybe driving, maybe just sitting quietly, and suddenly you feel this heavy, urgent need to pray for someone, for a situation. You don't always even know why. And sometimes you find out something was happening at exactly that moment. A crisis, a spiritual attack, someone in danger. That's not coincidence. That's the Holy Spirit using your gift to intervene. Romans 8 verse 26 says, "The Spirit Himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words." People with discernment are often called to intercession because they can sense what the Spirit is burdening them with. You're not strange for feeling it. You're called to carry it. Have you ever felt an unexplained urgency to pray and later found out why? That's a powerful thing to share. Leave in the comments. Sixth sign, you have a hunger for holiness. This one might surprise you. You genuinely want to live right. Not out of fear, not to impress anyone, but something inside you is deeply uncomfortable with sin. Even sin that others seem to laugh off easily. When something impure comes on the screen, you feel it. When a conversation starts going somewhere dark, you feel it. When compromise creeps in, you feel it. And you wonder, why does this bother me so much when nobody else seems to care? Because discernment and holiness walk together. Jesus said, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." Matthew 5 verse 8. The purer your heart, the clearer you see. Your hunger for holiness isn't weakness. It's the gift protecting itself and protecting you. Does spiritual impurity bother you in ways that feel almost involuntary? You're not alone in that. Share your experience below. Seventh sign, you feel a deep burden to protect the church. This is the one that ties everything together. You don't just want to attend church. Something in you wants to guard it. When false teaching creeps in, it's personal to you. When someone is being spiritually manipulated, you can't stay quiet. When the body is being led somewhere it shouldn't go, something rises up inside you. This isn't pride. This isn't control. This is the gift doing exactly what God designed it to do. Paul said it clearly. Pay careful attention to yourselves and to all the flock in which the Holy Spirit has made you overseers to care for the church of God. Acts 20 verse 28. The church isn't only protected by preachers and pastors. It's protected by people like you, quiet, faithful, spiritually alert, who refuse to look away. Have you ever felt this burden to protect your church or community, even when it costs you something? I want to hear that story in the comments. So let me ask you honestly, how many of those signs resonated with you? Maybe one, maybe all seven. Here's what I want you to hear, and I say this with everything in me. This gift is not a burden to carry alone. It was given to you by God, for a purpose, for this moment, for the people around you. Yes, sometimes it's heavy. Sometimes it's lonely. Sometimes nobody understands why you see what you see. But God saw it in you before anyone else did. If this video spoke to you, don't just scroll past it. Leave a comment. Tell me which sign hit you hardest. Tell me your story. Because there are people watching this right now who need to know they're not alone, and your comment might be exactly what they need to read. If this helped you, share it. Someone in your life needs to hear this today. Until next time, keep your eyes open, keep your heart pure, and keep standing on that wall. God put you there for a reason.